Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the same thing here representing Team JVS. Here you guys another movie review, and I'm talking about Lilo and Stitch. This is the remake of the 2002 Lilo and Stitch animated feature. So the original one was a classic in its own right. At the time, there was like this feeling of like after Brother Bear, like would there be another good to big to deep, as impressionable as like what they'd done in the past with The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Lilo and Stitch it hit it out the park. It worked in ways that a lot of people did not anticipate, and I think that foundationally, it's something that generations have kind of grown up with and have loved in a very impactful way. But with any remake, there's always this risk of one, should it have been made? Two, was it going to be something that was as exciting as the original or possibly better? And then three, like how would they actually interpret it? How would they actually make it work? A lot of times the character design is always the key to what that actually looks like. But I think that this one, it's not just the character design. I think that as far as the inclusion of this, with having actors of Hawaiian descent and heritage be included into this in every way, shape, or form, even down to having Bruno Mars be one of the producers of the soundtrack on one of the songs on this. This is well casted. And I think that it all goes in circles around a certain actress, and that is the role of Lilu. She is a gem, and her name is Mia. I'm gonna get her last name wrong. I apologize. Kaloa. Sydney is playing the role of Nani, who's Lilo's sister. You got Tia Carreri playing the role of Miss Coca. You got Kipo Dedoit playing the role of David. It's one of the friends there. And then on top of that, you got some amazing stars. Hannah Wenningham is, of course, in Mission Impossible. If you don't know that yet, but she's also in this film as well. Courtney B. Vance is in this film. They've got Amy Hill in this and a slew of other amazing actors and actresses. And then Zach Galifianakis as well as Billy Magnuson are in this film as well. So Zach is playing the role of Jumba, and Billy's playing the role of Pleakley. So let's go and kind of get into this. With Mia's role as Lilu, it has to work in a way that I don't think a lot of people anticipated. Because one of the reasons why um, acting off of nothing is really hard to do, you have to be able to have like a true imagination that there's actually someone there. And in this one, I loved Lilu. She had so much personality, spunk, rebelliousness, but heart and belief. It was so interesting to actually watch. But even more so than that, they complemented each other. I actually liked Stitch more in this film than I did in the original animated. The original animated, and part of that also there was a series and there was a sequel. So I saw a lot of Stitch. But with that first movie, I was kind of like, he's a menace, like he's this. And maybe it's me getting older, but watching it here in this context, I felt for them all a lot more. And I felt like Stitch was a lot more palatable for me. I was able to tolerate his shenanigans a lot more. I was able to understand him a lot more because the guy is literally an alien trying to make and pass for something else. And he's also genetically designed to be something different. And so I think when I was watching in hindsight in the past, like I was like, it's always like, man, Stitch is the annoying one and Lilu is like the perfect one. They were in this film to me a perfect pairing. And I did not anticipate that being the case. But I really loved Lilu and Stitch in this film. I think that Stitch he performed better in this than he did actually in the animated feature. Now maybe that's subjective, but I think that actually was the case for me specifically. The other thing about it, and I think that this is where it's a little bit of a trade-off, the role of Nani. Nani, I think when I was watching it when I was growing up, it was kind of like, you understand this is a bad situation, like, but she's making it work. Everything's peaches and rainbows. This actress had to make it appear on her face that things were okay to good to great on a dime when everything around her is just disintegrating. And I think that the older you get, you understand the responsibility she's got is an impossible responsibility. And it's kind of like she makes it work. And I think that the way they kind of telegraph, like she also had other ambitions and other things going on, but she's gonna do what she has to do. You value Nani as a character so much more, I think, in this one than you actually did in the animated. Because with the animated, it's kind of like a lot of it's like, oh man, this is cute, oh this is funny, but it's gonna work out. It's animated, but it's like when you see what the sacrifice looks like realistically and child services there, you find a lot more value in their relationship between Nani and Lilu, and also the circumstance that Nani is put in because of the circumstance. The other thing is interesting is Piccoli. They do give them like a really interesting take on what those characters are supposed to look like between Jumba and Piccoli. So I think they did a good job with the animation for all of them. And the other thing I think that they did a good job with is also the underlying things about Stitch, and where he comes from and who's connected to him. They did a lot more than I thought they would, and I think it paid off in a lot of ways, especially with Courtney B. Vance's character. So I think the thing that I would kind of grade it on was the comedy natural. Was it grounded? Did it work? Was it overforced? I think there were certain moments, like certain characters, that did not necessarily land for me. It was cute, but it was like, I could take it or leave it. But I think with the core characters and what they were trying to do as far as the narrative, the comedy came off really natural. But specifically with Lilo and Stitch, that was the thing that had to be a make or break. There is no actual Stitch there. So Mia had to make it work. And they all technically, from an interactive standpoint, had to make it work. And they did a really good job, I think, with that, making the comedy land and stick and putting them in certain scenarios. The other thing I'll say, as far as the voice actor played the role of Stitch of Chris Sanders, he does a really good job as far as Stitch yet again. I think that some of the set pieces and some of the things they did as far as like the VFX and certain action moments, I think they did a really good job. Like towards that second to third act, they did a lot more than I thought they were going to do. And I think that they did a really good job with what we actually got. Do I think that some of this is going to like not necessarily be for everybody? I think if you're a Disney fan and you're a fan of the original movie, I think you're going to get something out of it. I think that it's more going to be a trade-off for the kids. I think the kids are going to absolutely love this. And I think they're going to find a lot of value of it, especially if they've never actually seen the original animated. So it's kind of like, it's going to be the same exact situation like you get with the Lion King. A lot of kids now prefer to see the live action, especially going with something like Mufasa, than they did the animated 2D animation. So it's going to be an interesting trade-off to see kind of how these remakes are revitalizing this in a way, regardless of what we feel about the validity of them being made. But I do think I find value in this. This is one of the better live action Disney interpretations that we've gotten. And then we got stuff right down the hall that's coming soon. And like How to Train Your Dragon live action is about to come up. So I think this is a good time for this. I'd rate this at a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I actually thought it was pretty good. One of the better Disney remakes that they've actually done. And I think that they capitalized on things that I didn't really necessarily care about from the original animated 2D animation, and they made it maybe a little bit better. So let me know what you guys think of Lilo and Stitch. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? It's fine. Let me know in your comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for following. Thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Falling out the top of